Jonathan Davis is with us, and he's a frequent contributor to our programme, I'm delighted to say. Jonathan, I likened it to giving an alcoholic a bottle of whiskey. Is that a fair summary?
Well, it certainly is. We've been addicted as a society and indeed as governments, successive governments, to debt over many years, indeed decades. And as you say, the drug pusher or the pub landlord comes along and gives you more drugs or gives you more booze. You cannot stop being an alcoholic by continuing to drink alcohol. It really is as simple as that. And can I just say, listening to Mr. Moulton there, it was almost as if I was listening to myself, except on one point, he quite rightly says that by printing more money, it is going to engender and create more inflation, higher costs of living to the man and woman in the street. I don't entirely agree, however, that it's going to help mortgage payers, because inflation will beget, in due course, higher interest rates.
I agree with you entirely.
So in the
short term, question of when.
Yeah. So in the short term, it helps out if you've got a mortgage, but in the long term, the only way you're going to kind of squeeze out this debt out of the economy is to raise interest rates. That's the only way to ultimately tackle it. So we're living in a fool's paradise, aren't we?
Yeah. What's coming down the road is quite straightforward. The government's debt is going up at roughly 10% a year. Now, at some stage, the amount of debt we have as a country will start to really frighten people who are lending the country money, people who are buying the government's gilts. The currency will fall away, as it has been doing already. And people will start saying, well, why would I buy a piece of paper where the UK government says they'll pay me back in pounds sterling in 10 years' time, and in the meantime give me 2% interest rates? Sooner or later, they're going to say, screw that for a lark, I want 10%. Then the interest rates rise, which is what Jonathan was just saying, and you have a catastrophic position shoved into the economy with all the good news we were talking about reversed into very high rates. That's the really nasty endgame that will occur if we don't get rid of the deficit.